Today, we will look at how to translate unknown cultural practices. There are times that the source language will use words and ideas that are not familiar. If you do not know what the source word means, the translation notes and important terms pages will help you understand its meaning. Unknown words can be in several categories: historical facts, objects such as animals, food, and items, cultural practices, or concepts. This is a lesson that will introduce how to translate unknown cultural practices. Look at the lesson on each category to learn more. You might also want to go to the lesson on copy or borrow. Another area where you might be unfamiliar with is cultural practices. There might be many differences between the biblical culture and the target language culture. Sometimes a cultural substitute can be used, but be careful not to change any historical facts. For example, in Jewish culture, grief and repentance for sin were shown by wearing a rough type of cloth, sackcloth, and putting ashes on the head. Wailing was another sign of grief. In other cultures, grief may be shown in different ways, but if this practice was something that actually happened, it needs to be recorded as such, with an explanation that tells what it means, perhaps using a practice from the target culture that has the same meaning. See the lesson on translating scriptures, culture, for more information. An example of this is in Luke chapter 22, verse 47. While he was still speaking, behold, a crowd appeared with Judas, one of the 12, leading them. He came near to Jesus to kiss him. In certain cultures, when men greeted other men who were family or friends, they would kiss them on one cheek or both cheeks. This can be translated as to greet him with a kiss, or to greet him by kissing him. If your readers would find it embarrassing to say that a man would kiss another man, you could translate it in a more general way, such as to give him a friendly greeting. Here are some suggestions to keep in mind when translating a term that is not familiar in your language. Use a descriptive phrase. You will most likely need to use a phrase to explain the meaning of the unknown word. It is important only to describe the part of the meaning which is being used in the particular verse being translated. Substitute something similar. At times, the exact word may be unknown to the people of the target language, but there might be something similar that could be used in its place. Use a foreign word from another language. Foreign words are words taken from a language that is not usually spoken by the people of the target language. You could also use the foreign word together with a general word or a descriptive phrase. Use a word that is more general in meaning. An example would be work animal, which is more general than the word donkey, because a donkey is a kind of work animal. Use a word or phrase that is more specific in meaning. Sometimes there is no general word in the target language to describe the term. Therefore, you can give specific examples of the term being referred to. An example would be if there is no word for lights to refer to heavenly bodies. You could possibly say the sun and the moon, using specific words. This concludes the lesson on how to translate unknown cultural practices. Remember, the translation notes and the important terms pages are excellent references when you are uncertain as to the meaning of a source word that relates to unknowns such as animals, historical facts, or cultural practices. Look at the lesson on each category to learn more. At all times, remember, keep the translation clear, natural, and accurate to the meaning.